Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. I'm Joe Vanourney. mmkeeravani is a composer and songwriter. He's one of the creative forces behind the hit film RRR, which is my favorite film of 2022. My personal, that's the best picture. He won the Golden Globe a few nights ago for his song Naatu Naatu, which is also a frontrunner in this year's Oscar race. mmkeeravani, welcome to Cherry the Geek TV.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Let's start out talking about the Golden Globes. This was a few nights ago. You were up against some powerhouses in the music business, Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift and Rihanna, and you take home the statue. What was that experience like? Put me in your headspace.
Mind-blowing experience, and first of its kind in my music career. So I was very happy to be there among them in the first place. Award or no award, first in the first place, I was feeling very happy and overwhelmed to be sharing the platform with all those stalwarts, and they are also my favorite stars. So that was the first point for me to be feeling very happy. And of course, the award followed, and there are no limits for happiness. I was very thrilled. I was very excited.
Well, I'm going to read to you what I wrote about RRR. This was back on June 1st of last year, 2022. After I got out of the screening, I saw it in the theater. I put, not only is RRR the best film of 2022, it is one of the best cinematic experiences I've ever had in my lifetime. It's like David Lean and Sergio Leone and John Woo and James Cameron all made a baby. The entire audience in my theater erupted into applause at the end, including me, and I never clap at the end of the film unless there are filmmakers in attendance. There is a reason that RRR is on everyone's top 10 films of the year so far lists. Believe the hype on this one, folks. RRR is the real deal. 5 stars. I stand by that review. That was June 1st of last year.
I'm very glad to know that. Thank you very much.
RRR is the best film of 2022. Let's talk about that film. This is directed by Rajamouli. You've worked with him for 2 decades, right? All of his films, right? 12 films? Is it 12 films? 13?
Yeah, 12 films all for the past 2 decades.
So talk to me about that relationship. How did you two meet, and how has that relationship developed over the past 2 decades? Has it gotten easier to work together?
Yeah, the director Rajamouli is my younger brother. He's 12 years younger to me. And I knew him since he was a child, to start with. So the kind of rapport and friendship we share is very natural, because we are family members. And after that, after a point of time where he developed his own taste for movies and songs, he used to share every bit of it. He used to share with me what he likes and what he dislikes. So most of the times our tastes were the same. We used to share the same taste, and that's how we had a base of a common perspective, views about making movies and enjoying movies and music. And when it came to himself getting a break and becoming a director for a movie, obviously he chose me to compose music for him for his movies. And ever since, the travel was very smooth, and it was great and enjoyable. Before getting into our careers, respective careers, me as a musician, himself as a director, since we shared these common views and experiences, that made my job easy in sailing with him for this long 2 decades with 12 films on hand. Yeah.
So RRR is probably his most epic film. It's his biggest film. It's one of the it's the biggest budget, right, for a film from India ever, if I'm not mistaken.
Very big, biggest budget. Yeah.
And there's huge action set pieces, and then the film itself is it's an action film, but there's romance, there's comedy, there's dance sequences, there's a revenge aspect. What was the most challenging aspect for you as a composer in this? And it's a 3-hour plus movie, and 90% of the movie is music. So your job was you had a big task ahead of you. What was the most challenging part?
Yeah, the most challenging part was Naatu Naatu. Let me confess, because right from my childhood, I was never into sports. Whereas Rajamouli likes sports a lot. He plays cricket and all other games. He's very much into physical sports. And I was only playing chess, and I was reading books all the time. I was never into physical games or sports. So sports are last choice for me, for my taste. And that reflects on me when it comes to composing, beat-oriented songs. I mean, when it comes to songs which has lots of choreography in them. We speak about emotions and romance and things of that sort. It's child's play for me. I'm very good at composing music for emotions. And RRR is full of emotions. Composing score for RRR has never been a challenging task for me. It has been very easy, very effortless. But Naatu Naatu song, it has to carry the stamina and energy it required between the two friends and all other people who joined them in dancing. It has to be very high voltage song. So I had to take some efforts and time to produce a song. It took 30 days for me to come up with that number. So that's how that Naatu Naatu song was the most challenging part of RRR movie for me, among the 6 songs and the score. Yeah.
Now I understand that there were different versions, or there were different songs that you wrote and composed.
20 versions, 20 to 30 versions. I lost count. There are many versions. I had to compose or come up with version 1, version 2, version 3, and on and on. The director was never feeling happy. He always he wore a face of suspicion and not contented. So we keep trying and trying and trying, and finally Mr. Kalabhairava came up with an interesting arrangement for Naatu Naatu. He is my assistant. So that's when Naatu Naatu took further shape, and finally we locked on the song, and the director took the song and gave it a new kind of life and animation. That's how it has been a very teamwork. Naatu Naatu is a team.
Were you involved at all when they were editing, you had the final version of Naatu Naatu and they were editing the dance and the choreography to the song? Were you involved in that process at all, or was the first time that you saw that after they had put it together and then they showed you the final product?
Yeah, I was not involved in the choreography or editing of the song. That was done completely by the director and his team. But I just composed and produced the song itself, the audio part.
So that's an amazing sequence in the film, right? In a film that's full of amazing sequences, I think Naatu Naatu is easily one of the top 2 scenes that everybody talks about in that movie. The other one being the one with the tigers. What was your reaction when you saw that with the choreography, your song, and then what they did with the dancing? What was your initial reaction when you first saw that?
My reaction was like this, I have a baby born to me, and the baby was taken away by somebody when he was 3 months old. And the baby came back to me after becoming a 20-year-old, very high qualified technician, a pilot or engineer or a doctor. He comes back to me. Yes, Dad, I am your son. I met him when he was 3 months old, and he comes back to me as a full grown up and well qualified, well groomed technician. Is this my son? Oh my God. That was my reaction. When I saw my song on the screen with full energy and choreography happening there, that was my reaction.
Not salsa, not flamenco, my brother.
Do you know Naatu?
What is Naatu?
పొలం గట్టు దుమ్ములోన పోట్ల గిత్త దూకినట్టు పొలేరమ్మ జాతరలో పోతరాజు ఊగినట్టు కిర్రు సెప్పులేసుకొని కర్ర సాము చేసినట్టు మర్రి సొట్టు నీడలోన కుర్ర గుంపు కూడినట్టు ఎర్ర జొన్న రొట్టెలోన మిరప తొక్కు కలిపినట్టు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 వీర నాటు 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 ఊర నాటు 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 పచ్చి మిరపలాగా పిచ్చ నాటు 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 విచ్చు కత్తిలాగా వెర్రి నాటు.
I've had enough of this nonsense! You two, out!
No, Jake, I've had enough of your bullying. Oh, Go!
కుండల తిరిపోయేలా ఢండన కరమోగినట్టు సెవులు సిల్లు పడేలాగా కీసు పిట్ట కూసినట్టు ఏలు సిటికెలేసేలా ఎప్పారం సాగినట్టు కాలు సింధు తొక్కేలా దుమ్మారం రేగినట్టు ఒళ్ళు చెమట పట్టేలా వీరంగం చేసినట్టు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 వీర నాటు 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 ఊర నాటు 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 గంట పారలాగా చెట్ట నాటు 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 ఉక్కపోతలాగా దిక్క నాటు.
So the film gets released and gets this huge response, not just in India but internationally. It's doing very well in Japan. It's doing very well in the United States. I think there's two camps that see the film, right? There's people that's seen the film and they're like, this is the best film of the year, this best picture, and those that don't think it's the best picture, but that's only because they haven't seen it yet, right?
Yeah.
So the film comes out, huge response. There's people in the theaters dancing to the song. That Naatu Naatu song comes out. There was just a screening at the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles earlier this week.
They were dancing and there was a standing ovation.
Right, and so people are in front of the screen. 100 people dancing in unison with the song. The actors are there. The Rajamouli's there. You're there. What's that like? What's going through your mind when you're watching audiences react that way to your song?
I felt very happy, and I got used to these kind of reactions in India because it's been happening for the past 20 years. But in the US and in LA and in California, it's amazing. And it feels like heaven. No words. No words. It's great.
It is sadly about time to wrap it up. Before we do, I have one final question. The Oscars are coming up. We're about 2 weeks away from Oscar nominations. Fingers crossed that your song Naatu Naatu gets nominated. There's also a chance, we're hoping, that the film gets nominated for Best Picture and that Rajamouli gets nominated for Best Director. I feel, though, that there was a missed opportunity in the Best International Film category. India, the select committee picked the last film show as their pick for India. And a lot of people think they dropped the ball. Like had they selected RRR, that would be hands down the winner. What are your thoughts? What's the people involved in the film? I mean, and this is not to disparage the people who made the last film show. Good luck to them. And we're not disparaging your film, that film. But don't you think that they dropped the ball? That RRR should have been the pick?
No, it's up to. I mean, it's up to their taste, their own taste. We can never question somebody's priorities or somebody's. Point of view or this perspective, but it's a good move for RRR producers or production house to project its own movie independently without, getting demotivated. And it is paying now because RRR is about fight back for your freedom, and it's full of motivation and energy. So that's what they did, and like the characters in the movie, that's what they are doing, and that's paying. It's full of self-confidence. RRR is all about self-confidence and struggling for freedom. Yeah, we are free from the all preset norms and conditions and traditions. That we are here to break the tradition in our own style and create history. That's what RRR story and RRR team's spirit about.
Well, the film is called RRR. People can watch it on Netflix, but if it comes to a theater in your city, I highly suggest you see it on the biggest screen possible with the biggest audience available, because that's the best way to experience the film. Good luck at the Oscars. Fingers crossed on a nomination, and congratulations again on your Golden Globe Award. mmkeeravani, thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you. Nice talking to you on Geek TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.